Welcome to this podcast episode. What an honor for me to have you, Alicia, and to cover and discuss about this not so comfortable topic. It became very comfortable for both of us, so I think that's very good. Perhaps even an inspiration for others. I want to just say really thank you so much. It's such an honor to have you here. It feels so much aligned and alignment that all of this is happening. Amazing for me to have you to talk about your experience as well, and for both of us to discuss about it and possibly help other women or other people who have experience with sexual abuse, rape. So how are you?
Thank you so much for inviting me. I have the honor to be here with you and for this first podcast. So thank you so much for your trust.
Amazing. I'm very glad to have you. So how are you feeling? How do you feel about being here and talking about this topic?
I'm feeling great. I was a bit anxious sometimes when I think about it, but now I feel comfortable and we'll see what's happening.
Okay. So can you share about, because basically you, so to say, came out and you spoke about it for the first time in your life. When did you start? When I think you posted on Instagram something, yeah, that you were raped.
No, the first time I said really to someone it was more than 10 years ago, but just one person.
Wow.
I kept it for many years because I was a child. So I did a bit amnesia, like memory loss. And so one day I opened up to someone, and it was a guy, and he told me that he had the same situation, but with a girl. A girl abused him sexually.
Oh wow. Also
Yeah.
when he was a child?
Yeah.
Okay, so
But yeah, this was the first time. But then it's really recent that I say it openly, like officially, and I talk about on social media.
when was
About
it? When did you post about it the first time?
I did the first reel, but I'm not sure everyone saw really because it was in a text and many things. So some people should have seen it, but I did a story a few days ago.
Wow.
And this, I had a lot of comments and support.
And you even told your family also just a few days ago,
yes,
yeah? Or?
I said about 2 abuses I had. So when I was child and later when I had drug in glass. And I said to my family, and one member took it really badly.
Yeah. Okay, so we will come here.
Yeah.
Now I would like to go a little bit back to when it actually happened so that anyone who's listening can also understand what you've been through, because I was also raped and my experience was completely different than yours, because also what is rape, there's like so many different ways, and I think people just have their own imagination when you say I was raped, they actually there's like so many different ways and situations that people experience. So I would like you to tell yours, and when, how old were you, how did it happen, of course as much as you want, you don't have to share all the details, but
So it started when so I was child, I think around 10 or 8 years old, I don't know exactly. But the person asked me to do things, and after that I realized that first of all I was not at the age of sexuality, so for me I didn't even know if it was bad or not. It was strange. And after I had with my first boyfriend, uh, and like he was narcissist. I realized after, and he was putting me guilt because I didn't want to have sex with him sometimes, and he was like, "Ah, you don't love me, you don't love me like me, blah blah blah." So sometimes I was like doing it without caring, like without wanting, because he was putting pressure on me and guilt and so.
For you, like, as I understand that this could be even a pattern in generations in your bloodline, that women were almost like pleasing, like even they don't want to do it, but they just do it, and is
Yeah,
that
I know that is the case because my grandmother said to us that the, the mother of my grandfather told her when she was young, like, you have to say yes all the time to your husband. Anytime. If he wants, you have to accept. And if not, he will go to fuck other woman, so you have to do it. Like,
Wow.
it's your duty as a wife to have sex with your husband.
Do you think that it could, even without them speaking this to you, do you think it could, that you could carry this?
Yes, I'm sure I had
Yeah?
it from there, because then my both grandmother, they had this, they were pregnant super young, and I'm sure they didn't want at this moment, at 16 years old, I'm not sure you want to be a mom, like maybe some people, but I think like before it was different also. But, and I'm sure that it was the same with my mom and many of these generations. I think it was in the
Yeah.
subconscious mind, like to.
So then you go to your first boyfriend. So you were doing things that you didn't really want, but then he made you feel guilty that you don't want, that you don't love him. And then what happened? What later? There was more situations like this?
Yes. Unfortunately, there is more.
More to come. Anyone watching or listening, please like ignore us laughing, but it's like probably a good stage to come to, but we're laughing about our sexual abuse.
It's more nervous laugh, but
Yeah, it's like,
it's better to cry sometimes.
When you just like dark humor, when you laugh from really bad things. Okay, so
So yes,
unfortunately there was more, yeah?
Yeah, I had later, because I was traumatized of this relationship, so I was avoiding to be in relationship like long term, and then I had another fucking crazy narcissist, but he was like high level, and like he beated me. He did psychological, physical, and sexual abuse, and this is exactly what I had when I was child. I had all this abuse, and I reproduce in my relationship, and it was these two ex that were narcissists. They were the men that I loved the most.
Because it was exactly from, also carried from the childhood.
I think so, yes. So I think when I was child, I believed that this was loved. Was
Yeah.
love.
Wow.
So I attracted same pattern, thinking that this is love, this is what I deserve, because when I was child, it's what I had.
Wow.
So yeah, I think this.
And that's why you think, that's why you tolerated it? That's why you stayed in it? Because you thought that this is just love? This is how it's supposed to be? Painful?
I think I was not conscious really of this. I think because I started when I had this first relationship with the narcissist and all these things. I started to have addictions with smoking a lot of joints, cigarettes, drink a lot of alcohol, and I was destroying myself. This is when I started with everything toxic in my life. I was destroying everything of my health. And then, so for many years, I was with this way of life, toxic
and why do you think you had this toxic, like, why did you drink, smoked and stuff?
To avoid the traumas, to avoid the pain, I think, to not think and to not feel this trauma that was too much for me. So I was avoiding with addiction, distractions, and not be alone. I never wanted to be alone. All the time going out, going to restaurant, going outside with friends. If one friend cannot, okay, I call someone else. I was almost never alone, to not be with myself, because I realize now that I really hated myself. I didn't know the existence of self-love, of of caring myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what did you experience more? Is that or there's
There was also the thing with the drug in the
Yeah.
class. Yeah, this is what I was out and
You were drugged also.
yeah, I was drugged also.
Yeah.
And I realized the day after, because I was drinking a lot, partying, but this I felt, first of all, I didn't remember many things, almost all the night, and I know that my behavior was not the same as I was when I was totally drunk, and I didn't drink that much this night, so I know that there was a drug.
So how was your like how did you live life? Like for example, if you dated or if you were with friends, did you tell your friends or you were not talking about it? How it affected your life and what areas do you think?
I think it affected a lot of all my life, but I I started. I think when I was drunk, I was opening and I was talking about it to people or to friends, and I felt a lot of support from people. But with my family, emotional support I didn't really have. I mean, it depends on what. With this subject of sexual abuse or everything with sexual, I didn't felt support because I think they believe that I'm guilt of what happened
That's your
because of my
fault, yeah.
behavior, because I was not caring myself. So
Yeah.
I'm guilt and responsible of what happened to me, because if I was not drinking and all these things, it would maybe not have happened. So when lately because when I said about the second narcissist that beaten me and everything, like when I told them we were in a situation that we were not talking too much with my family because of my behavior, and this was cherry on the cake, and yeah, I felt not supported because yeah, I felt that they were putting me the responsibility, like you shouldn't have been to his place. That was their answer.
Yeah.
Instead of, oh my God, how are you? What can we do for you? We are here
Yeah.
to support you. No, nothing of this. Nothing, nothing, nothing.
Yeah.
And just like, you see, if you would care about yourself, or if you will not be in this place, if, and just like putting me more guilt and shame on what happened.
How did that make you feel? Now you're laughing. Yeah? So
Yeah.
I just want to, for anyone listening, and maybe someone is listening who also felt the same, they might be like, how is she laughing? Because I know, like, we will come to the point why we're laughing about it now. But, like, before, like, how did you feel about it?
But I
How did
felt
you
really
react?
bad, lonely, like not supported by the people I loved the most, my family, but I was supported by other people, people that were with me or on the phone. Even sometimes when I shared, people were crying with me, like saying, "Oh my God, it's horrible what happened to you. You deserve the best. It's horrible that's this kind of thing." And I never had these words about this from my family.
Yeah.
They support me in many
Yeah.
other things area. I'm not saying that they are not here for me, but really this emotional support and about these topics, yeah, I felt really lonely, and that's why I think I even more smoke and drink and to be
Crazy.
unconscious and
So what
avoid.
happened? Now you were completely different, right? Do you go out a lot? Do you drink? Or how is
No,
your
no,
life?
no. Now I completely transform my life. I'm really another person. So now I don't smoke anymore, neither cigarette, neither joint. Alcohol, I drink sometimes, wine, drink dinner, things like this. And sometimes I stop completely to detox my body. And yeah, I think, yeah, no, it started because I was I traveled with a friend of mine in Mexico, and we did a ceremony of ayahuasca. But I didn't know exactly what it was. I was like, okay, I go with you to accompany you, but I had no idea what's gonna happen. So I think this one was more a detox of my body, physical body, because I purged a lot. But anyway, we talk. It's another topic. And then I started to see with her, like she was very healthy, my friend. She was not eating so much meat, not no alcohol, doing yoga, sports, caring about herself. And so I was like, wow, oh my God. It was new for me. I was aware, like really, she opened me this. But as it was the lifestyle I had for half of my life, 15 years, so slowly, slowly, I started to make some change, but I had my whole patterns and also the friends, the people I had, uh, my surroundings were people that take drugs, drink, and all these things. So, and I came to Ibiza, and I started to go parties, go out, and it was like I touched the bottom of the toxic lifestyle. I was in toxic relationship, everything. And so one day I had the click, like, you cannot live anymore like this. It's too, you are really destroying yourself. You will die. If you continue like this, you will
Crazy.
die. It's too much. Because I was at the end of the season, I lost a lot of weight. I was going back in the 34. It was 10 years or 15 years. I was very, very skinny. I was even not eating sometimes, like too much. And then I started to have a depression, and I talked to a friend. I said, okay, had this trauma with when I was child. I talked to her, and she told me, you have to start therapy with my friend. She's a therapist specialized in trauma. And then this is when I really, really started to make a change and really change my life. That was in January.
And since I know you, like I remember even 1 month ago or 2 months ago, you were still very much in anxiety and feeling very paralyzed, like with business and stuff. And what was the difference between that time, like 1 month ago, even though you were already doing therapy and healthy and da, 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 but now that you are so much completely different, and even you shared with your family now the first time, because before you were sharing with your family about abuse from your boyfriend, and then you were like, it's your fault, you're staying, da da da, and then but now you actually said about the childhood and about the drug, like that you were drugged. So what's the difference of you there and now that you're so much empowered? What happened?
Um, I think also there is something that when I did my transformation, I was also employee for many years, and I studied also mentoring to start my business as a masseuse, to do body treatment, healing massage. So it helped me to make the transition. Then I continue, and I stopped to work for someone. I'm now like entrepreneur, and then I studied also the mentoring with you, and yeah, I don't know. I I think this these investments and when every time I started to do therapy, to do this mentoring with the other girl, with you, it was a shift.
Wow.
Like I completely changed every time. Well, not. I mean, it's a slow process. It's not in one night I'm completely different person, but it's what made the first step to change.
Do you think that when you shared on social media and when you said to on your story and then you told your family, which was like recently, how did that make a difference for you? Did you
I
feel?
think I think that's true. That's to open the voice to say about it. I think it's healing for me, and I saw that also. Unfortunately, many women, many friends had also similar situation. Many women had abuses, any kind of abuse. Unfortunately, many has sexual abuse. So, and I think that now I'm with all this healing process. I feel I now really see my value and my strength. And yes, with the healing, we release. I cried a lot. There is a process, but now I feel that I can speak easily about it without crying. I even say sometimes people I know very few time, like we know each other for 1 hour, and I say, hey, I had sexual abuse.
Yeah.
No, I don't say this to everyone all the time, but no, I mean that now I, I don't feel anymore this big shame or guilt, even if that like my family said this, I don't believe it. I don't believe this is my fault.
Wow. Oh my God, this is so big. Well, that's the thing. I mean, like a couple of things. Like I remember when we were talking about it first times, because basically what happened was that I posted on Instagram about it, and then maybe that also inspired you to post.
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah, yeah.
Because it's so scary. And then you saw like, oh wow, she did it, and then you were like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And I remember even when we were talking at first about it, and it was more like, yeah, I was raped, like, yeah, oh, this was in my childhood, and we were like talking about this, and now it's like we laugh about it. So I think that first times when we say this, we put so much weight on it. It's like, I was raped, and then the more you say it, it's like, okay, it gets lighter and lighter and lighter. It's like, okay, we were raped, and I was raped, whatever. And then we meet people, and it's like, hey, by the way, I was raped. And it's like, sorry, it's my puppy.
I mean, it's still a trauma. Like we are laughing about it, but of course it's something we will have all our life, and it's something big. But I mean that now I have the um, distance of. It was horrible, but it was made what I am today, and the strength I have now, the powers. I think this made happen.
I think that when we are carrying that guilt and shame, we are shaming ourselves, and then we're afraid to say it because then we're afraid that other people will judge us. But then eventually, when you take that power back to yourself and then you say, actually, you own it, you're like, okay, I said it, this happened. So it's really beautiful that now, even though some people turn backs on you and they're shaming you, but you're like, no, it's not my fault. Like, you have the power of that, and if they are cannot deal with it, it's their problem to deal with that. Because for me, like, I didn't have this experience. I didn't have any, like, I was shaming myself and I was feeling guilty and all of the worst feelings, disgusting. I felt disgusted. I hated myself. I was blaming myself. Even though, like, it was not my fault and all of these things, but and even when I said it out loud, I just received support. There was not a single person who said something. Like, there was so much love, and my family also support me. And then when I felt like I inspired you, and I felt that responsibility, even for when I say out loud, I feel a little bit of responsibility that now if someone says it out loud, how they feel. And then when you told me, like, oh, by the way, like, some of the family members don't even speak to me or even
Block me.
even blocked you, like, family members, I was just so emotional because I felt like I cannot imagine how it feels like, because you already hate yourself and you carry that shame for many years, and you finally have the strength to say it, and some people even don't support you. It's just so painful.
I mean, yeah, I felt sad, and I still feel sad about this situation, but I'm also detached now. I think it's their process. For me, like one member of my family said, why you say this now, why you didn't say before, now we don't have any action, so we don't understand the interest to say it now.
Yeah.
And like someone said that even I'm selfish to have told it, because I should, because there is no action possible for them, so there is no point and no interest
Yeah.
to share.
So it's
And
like, stay quiet, keep it to yourself.
or say to professional. Someone said you can talk to professional, but not don't share to your family, because you know that it can destroy
Yeah.
the life of the people that love you.
Wow. So it's like, imagine, it's basically like you stay with that shit yourself and live with it, and because we don't want to know. And
Yeah.
we're just, so this is
We
not.
don't want to know everything. They say that not all the truth have to be said. Both, enfin, 2%
Yeah.
told me this.
Wow.
Words.
So anyone listening, you have to tell the truth, okay? Don't care. Like, it's up to you, because that's the thing. It's like you carry, and you're not, it's like you're not responsible to carry that shit because it's not your fault. And then the moment you say it, you just detach from that. It's like, yeah, this happened to me, but it's not my fault. And then if someone has problem, because that's the thing. Some people who are, maybe they feel responsibility. Because if it's related in some way to them, I think they feel responsibility. And now that shit that you carried, which was not yours, that's why they say it's selfish. You had to keep it because we don't want to deal with that shit, which
We don't
doesn't
want to
make
feel
sense.
the pain and to feel the shame or the guilt, because maybe they feel guilty to not have protect me or things like this. Also.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
So for me, it's like when I spoke about it a couple of times. I mean, I posted few reels about it. Then I recorded a YouTube video. Okay, like with my process, my journey, my healing. I was crying on that YouTube video as well. This was like very, very fresh because it helped. With every single time it helped, and then I would receive even more messages, even more love, and also other women opening up. And then imagine, I got invited to do an interview with like most famous television in Lithuania, and then suddenly I just said about it in front of the whole country. Like few reels with just my small audience on Instagram, and then YouTube video, and then boom, like okay, now national. Let's go viral.
All
Let's
the
go national.
country.
All the country. Oh my god. And yeah, when they came to me, they didn't come for that reason. Like I was invited to do interview just because, like, oh, it's interesting lifestyle, and it was like a coincidence. And then I knew it. I was like, oh my god, like, what a coincidence that they came to my life to do the interview, like a few weeks after this YouTube video that I posted. And I knew it, that there's nothing like coincidence, and I felt the responsibility, like now I have to speak up, and I don't want to show myself like, oh, I'm just this perfect girl living this perfect life. Like, no, the truth is that I was also carrying that shame so many years, and not that many years like you, because I was raped in 2019, so now it's like 5 years ago. But then it led me because of that. So it's like, because of that, of course, I attracted also not the perfect fit for me, the person who was toxic to my mental health. And I felt, because when I was raped, it basically, I just thought I'm not gonna be lovable, I'm dirty, and I'm not worthy. And then yeah,
Rough your
I
love.
just felt like also just bare minimum, or
Yeah.
just I just don't deserve to be,
Yeah.
I'm not worthy, I don't deserve and stuff. Because, and then after, of course, because it was toxic, it took time, then of course again, like, I attracted, because I started drinking, I started smoking. I never smoked in my life, never in my life I smoked. And I started like after this relationship. So I was already 25, maybe 26 or something. And then I started smoking, drinking, partying, also same, just distracting. And I was completely emotionally unavailable,
Yeah.
toxic myself without
Yeah.
even realizing. Because
Yeah.
I was just very, very hurt, damaged, and in pain. And then I was just like, yeah,
Disconnected.
emotionless. With even relationships or dating, I would not show my emotions at all. I was completely like
Yeah.
this
Me too.
until I got into a relationship, not relationship, I was dating someone that I trusted. It was just fun. And then yeah, basically I was raped second time, someone that I trusted. And again, I don't want to go into details, but rape is basically something that I think anything that is done to you that you don't want is rape. Like,
Yeah,
imagine I
exactly.
don't
When there
want
is no
this. You say I
consent.
don't want, and then
Yeah.
it's done to you.
Yeah.
And it's horrible, because even if you trust the person, because I did trust the person, and it's like, what will you do? Where will you go? It's like, no, I didn't even think of going. You feel so disgusting. You feel so ashamed, dirty, all the horrible feelings. And the least you want is go report. Like, I had people asking me, did you report? Like, even this question, just don't even ask. Imagine, like, people who want to kill themselves or suicide. If someone's like, before they kill themselves, oh, by the way, did you go to the therapist? Like, you're so low that you don't even think about it.
Yeah, I was to report for one of the
Yeah.
ex, but the police didn't take seriously.
Yeah. And that's even more painful. Then you feel like the whole world against you. You're alone. No one understands you. I didn't report none of the times. And also, first time with the rape, I was in a country, it's not Europe. And I was afraid that even if I found out I was drugged 2 months later. So, because the same person drugged my friend. And also, we were afraid that if we take her to the police, then she will go to jail. Because like
Yeah,
she's on
because of
drugs,
the
and the
drug,
drugs there
yeah.
are forbidden. You go to forever, like for the lifetime sentence.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So who would risk? I would never
Yeah,
risk
of
this for
course.
my friend,
Yeah.
because how would we prove it? My rape, yeah, it was 2019,
Right.
then I attracted that, and then I attracted another rape, and then basically I was living my best life, like traveling, making money, all this, but always living with this, always living and carrying this shame, guilt, disgust, and in every dating or something, even when I started healing and stuff, and I would not know even how to say and where to say. Like, what's the perfect time and day and way to say this? For example, when I was even dating or I like someone, how would I say, like, oh, by the way, like, I was raped. Like, I didn't know how, because I knew, like, then I just could not open up. So what happened that I would always put walls. Like I would not let anyone in. No, I would not be vulnerable. I would not show my emotions in any way. Not even just about this topic. It would be in any situation. And I think this would also put wall with others, with absolutely everyone, relationships with anyone, just because you cannot be fully vulnerable. It's like you hold something that means you cannot be completely vulnerable. So then it's the relationship will never reach the pure deep depth of the relationship, because if you hold that,
We don't feel safe, so that's why
yeah.
we don't show our vulnerability or the truth, because we don't feel safe with the other person, so we hide and we.
But I think we don't feel safe, first of all, with ourselves. Because
Yeah, of
once
course.
you accept, once you take it, then you feel safe, and then you can feel safe with anyone because you're
Yeah, yeah,
safe. And then
exactly.
that's the thing. It's like there's never a perfect time, a perfect moment. You just gotta say it. Even when you were just like, oh, why you didn't say it before? Like, come on, like you were not saying this for all of your life. Like, when to say it? So it's just like saying it and speaking about it anytime is good. And me, that when I spoke about it, and because I also didn't tell to my like entire family, or I just didn't want. I just posted online, and I felt, And then when I spoke on the television, and I thought, okay, well, my whole family will see this interview. Of course, I have to tell them. I don't want them to find out on the
On
on
the
the
TV.
interview. Yeah. And then then I told them as well. But I received love and support. Everything was good, and that's when I felt just powerful. Then it was just super like empowering. It's like I took all of that power back to me, because I was just hoping and looking for how to say, approval, or
Yeah, external approval.
yeah, just like I was looking for it, for someone else kind of to give me validation. That's the
Yeah,
word. To
yeah.
validate that it was not my fault, that you know and once I did it to myself, that's when you don't give a shit about absolutely anything. It's like, okay, I said the most intimate, the biggest secret of my life, and now I'm like, nothing matters anymore. I can say, I can be myself, I can be vulnerable, I can feel now people so much more. I can see who is not vulnerable. I know that they're hiding something, and it's not
Yeah,
without judgment. It's like maybe they're not ready yet to be
yeah,
vulnerable with themselves, but at least me being that, it's inspiring, and it gives other people permission. Like, wow, like
yeah,
how can she talk about it like this so openly? And it's
yeah.
beautiful.
And I think we, with this, we were more in the masculine energy to not just show this vulnerability, to be, or maybe also, like I was really sometimes detached or disconnected,
Disconnected,
or
yeah, that's the word, I think.
you see. And when I was in my feminine, it was a toxic feminine, because I didn't respect myself. I didn't
Yeah.
set boundaries, or when I didn't want, sometimes I couldn't even say the word. I just stay frozen, you know.
Wow. Yeah, I like that you said disconnected, because exactly, feminine, like really, how to say, divine feminine maybe, is the one who is embodied. And when there is any trauma, shame, guilt, you disconnect from your body, you erase it from your mind. So it's like, okay, you can wear dresses, you can buy yourself flowers, but it's still, you're not going to be fully in your feminine. And then once you accept that, you empower that by owning it, you embody it, this is me, and you accept all of the parts of yourself, that's when you become this empowered, embodied, divine feminine.
And also, I'm thinking now that how I was dressed sometimes unconsciously, it was very, very sexy. Like we saw my body, like because I think also in my subconscious mind, it was like to be loved, you have to be sexualized. Like to love and sex like was mixed.
Wow.
And yeah.
And for me it was opposite. I would shame myself for looking sexy because it's like I was raped. How dare I be sexy? You know?
Yeah, but for me, I wasn't even doing on purpose. Like I want to be sexy. It was not really conscious, but I realized after that I was really wearing
Yeah. But
these
I mean, I
things.
understand you, and
Yeah.
for me also was subconscious. But that's
Yeah.
the whole thing, is that doesn't matter. You can, like, what I mean is that it can affect you in completely opposite
Yeah, yeah,
ways.
yeah, of course.
And that's the permission that we women, we can be anything. We can be sexy and not sexy, wear short dresses or long dresses, be wearing something that is open or not open. And because when we're traumatized, we carry shame and guilt. That's where we keep
Yeah.
overthinking and shaming. And when we are embodied, we know, like, okay, I want to wear this, and I don't even care what anyone thinks.
Yeah,
I want
now,
it.
yeah,
Because I
now,
started wearing more sexy sometimes. It's not
yeah.
like I want to show now everything and be always sexy, but like sometimes when I'm in some certain vibe, I'm just gonna wear something that I would have never worn before just because I was shaming myself. So it's very liberating.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to share with anyone that is listening and maybe still carrying the shame, or has this experience?
Yeah, I would say that there is an exit of this, of even if it's really hard and the process is very long. I think it's a time process, the healing, the self-love, all these things. But yeah, and open up the voice about what happened and not carry this shame and guilt. It's not your fault, and yeah, just do the work
Yeah,
to heal and love yourself the most possible.
I would say that I forgot what there was one good thought that I thought. Oh, okay, I remember. Um, I think the point where we are now, with this much acceptance, embodiment, liberation, power, some people, some women do not arrive for all of their life, which is the most scary thing for me when I think about it. And I'm so happy where we are, and I know that it's going to be even better and better, because with more of us talking about it, empowering other people, sharing our experience, like, we feel even more liberated, even more ourselves, more vulnerable and authentic, more powerful. And that's the thing for anyone listening that also carries any kind of shame. It doesn't matter whatever happened, or it's like there is no perfect moment. You know, there is just like by saying it, just by like, okay, you don't have to pose, but you gotta start giving yourself that validation and loving yourself and owning and accepting every part of yourself, because life will just be completely different, and you will free yourself and liberate yourself from holding back. And that's why when I think of someone even carrying it for a month, it's already scary. But when I think that some people carry it for 10 years, or like your life since you've been a child, and only now you're this powerful, it's so many years of damaging yourself, your body.
Exactly.
So it's like, yeah, I just want to say that you don't have to live with like this, and life on the other side is so beautiful. And even though it's scary to have some people not accepting you and shaming you and blaming you, when you give that power back to yourself, you don't give a damn of what anyone is thinking, and you just live your life in a completely different way, and you open up to the abundance of love and support of people who understand
Yeah,
you and who are in the alignment with you.
I had a lot of people and women that said, thank you for sharing, thank you for your trust to open up, thank you because I had the similar experience. And like even men were like, I'm here to support you. You are a strong woman. You are powerful, and
Yeah,
yeah.
amazing.
So I focus more on these people now, and
Yeah, yeah. So anyone listening, if you have anything to share, any questions, if we can support you in any way, do reach out to us on Instagram. I think that's the best way. And
and I want to
yeah.
thank you so much because you inspired me to open up more about this subject, because I opened a little bit before, but with you, you inspired me to open on Instagram, and then with my family, because you talk about the drug, and then I talk about this to my family
Wow.
like few days after. So I think you yeah, inspired me to do it faster.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. My biggest pleasure. And it's really amazing to see how much you transformed and changed. You've changed already since joining the program with me, but this is like next level change, next level transformation. You know, because it's something so much bigger than just business and stuff. It's you, who you
Yeah.
became now. You
Yeah.
took that power back. You're so brilliant. You have all the power to you, and you know, I know that it's just the beginning for you. What's gonna come after this, and that's the most beautiful thing that happened. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for sharing and trusting me, and yeah, this trusting me and this space for this episode and even podcast, because it's the first time I'm doing it, so it's like the perfect start with this very real, raw, authentic, vulnerable way, because this is the way. This is how I want, and I know you want to make that impact for others. Thank you,
Thank
babe.
you.
Love you.
Love you. We didn't cry.
Wow, yeah. If it's straight, how do I see if it's
In
straight?
10 years, we will look at this podcast.
For sure, babe, for sure. Alicia.
Somebody that I used
To know.
I don't wanna leave.
In that way. I still have my cacao. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to this okay.
Okay.
Round number 2.